What's good, everyone? OJ here. Welcome back to another PE News video. Today, we've got some great topics for you guys, so let's go ahead and get right into it. And we're starting off with, surprise, another Nintendo class action lawsuit over the Joy-Con controllers in the Nintendo Switch with Joy-Con drift. So Nintendo's already dealing with a number of these lawsuits when it comes to Joy-Con drift and how they handled the situation overseas and also in the United States. But now we have another complaint being filed. Now, Polygon first spotted the lawsuit, shout outs to them, and of course Nintendo Everything reporting as well. And there was a brand new one filed today in a Seattle court. Now, it does contain a technical breakdown completed by an expert who indicates that the problem occurs due to wear on the interior pads of the controller. Lawyers for the plaintiffs say Nintendo has not been properly informing consumers despite being aware of the situation. The complaint also mentions consumer advocacy investigations in France, Belgium, and Switzerland. Now, Nintendo President Shuntaro Furukawa previously apologized for the issues with the Nintendo Switch Joy-Cons, and they also even added a replacement program here in the United States. If there's anything that happens to your Joy-Cons, no matter when you buy them, you will be able to send them into Nintendo and get them replaced. Now, a minor went forward with today's lawsuit about personally experiencing Joy-Con drift. The issue started 3 months after buying a Switch system, which were initially taken care of by Nintendo, but the controllers failed for a second time several months later. He then had the controllers repaired again through a $40 fee for the second time. Now, ultimately, the plaintiff went through 3 pairs of Joy-Cons. The lawsuit calls out unlawful and unfair conduct against Nintendo in addition to consumer fraud. Now, you guys will also see a copy of the complaint link in the description below. There's the technical teardown and kind of what's going on and everything. And they show off potentially what's happening with the Joy-Cons. And it's interesting because Joy-Con drift is something that I've seen people do home remedies to fix, right? We've seen people do some of those, but it seems like the lawsuits are piling up across the board, whether it's overseas or here in the US. So it's going to be very interesting to see how Nintendo tackles this going forward. There's a lot of rumors about a Nintendo Switch Pro. Are those going to have some type of revised Joy-Cons? What's Nintendo doing to be working on the Joy-Con design so this doesn't happen going forward in the future? It's definitely going to be something that we're going to have to keep our eye out for just to see what happens. So what are you guys' thoughts or experiences with the Nintendo Switch Joy-Cons? Are you having issues as well? Have you got them repaired? What's been your experience so far? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. All right, and moving on to the next topic here, guys. The new game, Immortals Fenix Rising. We've got some DLC plans and post-launch content. The game is gearing up for its release on pretty much every single current and last generation platform out there, so it should be pretty exciting based on what we've seen so far. And I'll also be covering the game myself for the Switch version and also the PlayStation 5. So Ubisoft did share a lot of details about each DLC drop and what you can expect. So there will be a new God DLC, that's the DLC Pack 1, ascends to Olympus, ready to take on a new adventure. Over the course of this DLC, Phoenix faces a series of trials set out by familiar gods players met on the Golden Isles. The trials introduce new types of puzzles set against the stunning backdrop of the home of the Greek gods. Olympus, in these trials, Phoenix hones their godly powers and finds ways to become even stronger as they attempt to earn a place among the inner circle of the pantheon. Once the young god has earned the favors of all the different higher up gods, they'll be ready to challenge the king of gods himself, Zeus. Then you have DLC Pack number 2, Myths of the Eastern Realm. Long ago, in a land far from the Greek world, where the heroes Phoenix and Ash would come to be known as champions of Olympus, there was another tale of immortals and heroes that has long since passed into legend. When a brutal war breaks out between heaven and earth, humanity is turned back into the clay that the goddess Nua formed them from. But one brave hero, Ku, escapes the curse of the broken heavens and emerges into the fallen world. Plus, there's a Lost Gods DLC Pack number 3, and much more. So it looks like they're going to have full plans for DLC. If you want to see the full details on everything that you could expect for it, check out the link in the description below. Like I did say, I have some exciting plans for Immortals Fenix Rising here on the channel. I'll be covering the game on the Nintendo Switch and also on the PlayStation 5. We should get some early access coverage as well, in addition to some post-launch coverage too. So it should be pretty fun to check out what this game is all about. Kind of reminds me of The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild Assassin's Creed with a little bit of the aesthetics of maybe like Kid Icarus or any other game that has like the Greek mythology kind of wrapped up into it. So I like that. I like the theme. I like what they're doing. The gameplay seems fun based on what I've seen from previews and everything. It seems like a game that's going to be pretty good when it launches on every single system. It's coming out PS4, Xbox One, PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X, and also S. Also coming out on the Nintendo Switch, PC, Stadia, so pretty much anybody will have a shot at playing this game if you want to pick it up. It's launching on December 3rd, one of those early December games after the holiday rush of November and Black Friday, and then like another holiday rush with December and Christmas ramping up. So what are you guys' thoughts on Immortals Fenix Rising and the DLC plans Ubisoft has? As you know, it's Ubisoft, so it's going to be pretty expansive. Let me know in the comment section below. All right, and moving on to the next topic here, guys. Nintendo has added a brand new feature to Nintendo accounts. So earlier today, Nintendo account holders were notified by email regarding a privacy policy updates. We haven't seen anything in North America as of yet, though there are reports of the message going out to those in Europe. Now, the privacy policy changes are primarily related to the couple of new features. First, we have an automatic updates of certain details, such as the use of credit cards are now supported. Additionally, quote, Nintendo can inform your friends of games you played and vice versa in the forms of play activity and recommendations. Now, there's a full breakdown that you guys can see there, link in the description for that. But Nintendo also stated that they are, quote, planning to enhance the security of the sign-in process, and one element of this is the further integration of Google reCAPTCHA. Going forward, there should be more of a barrier for unauthorized login attempts. Now, the reason why Nintendo is doing all this, one, of course, to be able to, features shared, let people know, playing, whatever the case is, right? It's kind of like that viral marketing or whatever. But also, there were a number of unauthorized login attempts that were compromised not too long ago, and that actually happened to myself and some people from across the world sat there and bought V-Bucks. Out of all the things, I mean, it's already a problem that you're stealing my money that I have, but then you also buy V-Bucks. That's what you do. You download Fortnite, which I already had downloaded. They updated it because it wasn't downloaded, or it wasn't updated, sorry, on my Switch, and they purchased $200 worth of V-Bucks. So make sure that you have the Google Authenticator kind of set up on your account. Make sure that you have the two-step login process, and that's exactly what I did. I actually thought that I had it already set in there, but it wasn't. So make sure you have all that, but Nintendo's also making sure to shore up the back end there so none of this stuff even happens, even if you don't have that enabled, or even if you have like one step or whatever the case is. They want to make sure nobody is trying to come in there and steal out of your account, which I think all the companies try really hard to make sure that does not happen, because it's a PR nightmare, of course. So what do you guys think about these new features being added in and this extra layer of security that they're trying to shore up? Let me know in the comment section below. All right, and moving on to the final topic here. This is just more of something that I noticed is being reported on out there, especially with the amount of PlayStation 5s that are now in people's homes. And we're looking at the features and what the system can do and what they're going to update. And it does seem like Sony does not have a way to back up your PlayStation 5 saved games or your saved data. There's no USB exports, and the only way to do it is to have PlayStation Plus. So very similar to what Nintendo's doing with the Nintendo Switch Online. That's pretty much the only way to back up your saved data. So if you do have a PS5, you'll probably want to get PS Plus if you're worried about your save data potentially getting corrupted or broken or something like that. PS5 owners can't back up next-gen game saves without PlayStation Plus. And this effectively means PS5 game save backups are locked behind a pay gate. Now, unlike the PlayStation 4, the PS5 doesn't let gamers manually copy their next-gen saves onto a USB drive. The only way to safely back up saves for next-gen PlayStation 5 exclusives like Demon's Souls is to upload them to PlayStation Plus. Now, users can't export their PS5 saves to an external USB stick or USB drive. To be clear, you can still manually export and import PS4 saves on the PlayStation 5. This is true for any backwards compatible game that you play on your PlayStation 4. So if you have, let's say, the PS4 version of Assassin's Creed Valhalla installed on your PlayStation 5 SSD, you can still back up those saves via a USB device, but it would be the PS4 version through backwards compatibility. But the saves for the next-gen version of Assassin's Creed Valhalla cannot be exported at all. Also remember that PS5 separates game saves by generation. PS4 and PS5 game saves are segregated in 2 different areas on the SSD. Now this should be changed with a patch from Sony. I'm guessing that it was just something that they didn't include at the beginning. But for right now, like, PS Plus is the only way to get that done when it comes to saving and all of that. Now there are other things that you can do, some tips and tricks that they do have, link in the description below if you want to read the full thing. And shout outs to Tweaktown for the article there. But here's the thing, guys, like, I do feel that will be something that they update in the future. Like the PS5 OS, remember, they built from the ground up. There's still a number of features that they haven't included yet in there, like folders and some of the other stuff that was on the PlayStation 4. So I do expect Sony to include these features going forward in a patch, and I don't think it'll be too much of a problem. The reason why I'm reporting on it is just to make sure, guys, be careful, because there was a recent update for the PlayStation 5 OS and everything, but we've been getting reports about software crashes and rest mode causing issues which could corrupt data. So if it's corrupted and you can't back it up in any other way unless you have PlayStation Plus, then you're going to be out of luck with your Demon Souls save or with your Spider-Man Miles Morales save or something like that, and nobody wants that to happen. So make sure that you just be careful. Once again, I would avoid putting the system in rest mode if you're playing a game already, like Spider-Man Miles Morales or any PS5 game. Don't go straight to rest mode from the game. Save, do what you need to do, then get out of the game, then go into rest mode if you need to, or just don't go into rest mode at all. Like, if you need to charge your controllers, leave it on, put it on low power consumption, and turn off your TV or monitor. So just be careful, guys. Remember, in the first couple weeks of a system launch, there's always some bugs and glitches here and there with most of the stuff, and with the PlayStation 5 OS being completely rebuilt, you're bound to find some of those at launch and around the time of launch. So what do you guys think about all the different topics that I've discussed here? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Alright guys, that wraps it up for this video here. Check out the links in the description. We've got Twitter. If you want to give us a follow on there, stay up to date on all the latest gaming news and information. Also make sure you like, comment, and subscribe, and share this video if you can. Thank you guys so much for watching, and we'll catch you for the next one. Peace.